This is Elaine from Antelope Beads, and in this video I'm going to talk about designing a leather bracelet. There are really two parts to making any kind of jewelry, and the first is the art, the design part, and we spend a lot of time thinking about what our jewelry, our bracelets are going to look like, what sorts of embellishments we're going to add. We spend a little bit less effort sometimes looking at the engineering part, what makes it wearable, durable. So in this video, we're going to really focus on some tips for making well-designed, well-engineered leather bracelets. And there are three parts to any bracelet. First is the leather or cord, and we have all sorts of choices. We have flat, round leathers and cords and just all kinds of choices to pick from. And secondly are the embellishments, and those can be either riveted components or slides. And the third part that we sometimes think a little bit less about is the clasp. And all three of these components have to work together for the bracelet to be wearable, to hold together properly. From the clasp perspective, we have everything from 1mm round to 60mm flat clasp. There's a lot of choices there. And most of the clasps are designed with some kind of safety catch so that it doesn't just come apart when you're wearing it. So you have to sort of pick it up to open it up instead of just pulling it apart. Some of the bullet clasps have very strong magnets, so there's no problem with those holding together. And again, a lot of the clasps have different safety catches, so they're just a little tricky to open. So if you get a clasp, just take a minute and spend some time seeing how it works. This one has to, again, come up apart because the little buckle fits right into that component right there. This one actually has a little buckle that we have to push down to pull it apart. And again, when it's on, it's just not going to come apart. So when I go to put on a leather bracelet, I'll open it up, put it on my wrist, and I'm putting this one on upside down on purpose just so you can really focus on the clasp. And to get it off, I need to push up on one part and down on the other for it to come apart easily. So again, these are designed so they're really not going to come apart when you're wearing them. So here are a little assortment of Bracelets bracelets. Bracelets is a thick leather and it's relatively stiff. So it's sometimes going to be a little bit of a challenge to work with, but with a few tips, we're going to be able to successfully make some beautiful bracelets. This bracelet has a relatively long slide and a relatively big clasp. It's a men's bracelet. It's cut, the leather's cut to 8 inches. So, and you can see this just holds together and fits beautifully. And this one, I've used a large slide and a relatively large clasp. You notice that the clasp is gapping and the bracelet even looks a little bit distorted. So maybe this isn't the best choice of a slide for this. Maybe what I really need to be using are some smaller slides and a smaller clasp. And of course, this looks much better. If the leather does get to be a little bit stiff and we're seeing a little bit of a gap in the clasp, then we can just soften up the leather by twisting it and working it a little bit. And it is leather or cord, and these will soften with a little bit of use. And then when I put it back together, you see that just fits perfectly. So now let's take a look at some flat clasps. This is a beautiful buckle clasp, and it's relatively long, so that means that if we use it with a shorter bracelet, it may be a little bit distorted. And the other issue with this clasp is it may actually just kind of pop open on us. But if I use it with a longer piece of leather, and when I say that, I'm talking about 6 inches and up, then it just holds together beautifully and we don't see it gapping at all. Also, the bracelet is not distorted. So this would be a good choice of a clasp to use with, again, a 6 and up piece of flat leather. If the leather's a little stiff and you find the clasp coming apart, again, you can just twist it and work it, and this clasp will work beautifully. We have a whole assortment of bullet clasps for round leather, everything from 1 millimeter up to 10 millimeter, and these just come apart by pulling. Some people worry that they're going to come apart when you wear them because there's no safety catch, but the magnets are really very strong, so you don't need to worry too much about that. I've got two little samples of tiny bracelets here using the bullet clasps, and you can see that they're just holding fine. And again, if you find that they are popping a little bit, just take the leather and loosen it up a little bit, and it will just fit together perfectly. Hope this information helps you successfully design leather bracelets that are beautiful and wearable. Please visit us at antelopebeads.com for more videos and design ideas. Thank you so much.